Hey everyone, welcome to the next episode of the COVID-19 Mind Management Series. I'm Julia and I run Pretty Aggressive Recovery Coaching. I help women recover and develop resiliency after being raised by toxic, poorly bonded parenting, low nurturing, or abusive parenting. Today, we're going to be going over how to manage your anxiety during this global health crisis. So, obviously, people develop a number of circumstances, as well as there's a lot of things going on in our environment that can induce or produce people to be experiencing anxiety. But what's extremely important while we're experiencing anxiety, or in order to combat our anxiety, is to understand and be educated about what anxiety actually is. So this series is devoted to offering tips, tools, coping mechanisms, skill sets that are actually healthy to help you deal with a lot of the common toxic behaviors that come up in a time of challenge in our lives, especially when we're raised in such a way that we haven't developed those skill sets and no one has helped us nurture them or grow those for ourselves. We've had a misinformed guide in our lives. So as I was saying, today we'll be going over how do you cope with anxiety. And we're going to go over a couple concepts and tools that we can use in order to combat that reaction to what's going on in our world right now. This world and this world. So first is be educated about what anxiety actually is. Most people can identify that they have it and its symptoms or how it makes them feel. But are you able to actually explain what anxiety is, where it comes from, what causes it, and the origins of anxiety? If you currently think that anxiety is produced by your circumstances or the state of the world around you, you have some work to do. Anxiety is the product of an unmanaged mind. So how are we going to manage it? Tip number 1. This was actually a tool that my oldest brother Andrew offered me in early university, and holy shit has it come in handy. It's so simple, yet it's so clear if you actually do the work. Take a piece of paper, 8.5 by 11, or a friggin' Post-it note. On one side, write what I can control. Draw a line down the middle, and on the other side, write what I cannot control. Draw a line underneath and make your list. If you're worried about other people getting sick or other people infecting you, or if you're worried about what the weather's going to be like and if you're going to be able to actually enjoy time outside in your yard with your kids, these are things you cannot control. More people getting laid off, what the government's going to decide about EI, if grocery stores are going to continue reducing their hours and you won't be able to make it. You cannot control these things. You need to put them in the things I can't control column. Things you can control. Being able to reserve and organize the food that you have. Being able to suit up your kids for any weather to play out in the backyard. How much time and energy and effort you spend on worrying about any of that bullshit that you can't control. Fold the paper in half, crease it down the middle, rip off the side that is the things you cannot control, crumple it up and throw it away, and then start on your fucking list. You have literally cut in half the things that you get to think about. You don't get to waste time on the things you cannot control, because it is wasted energy. You're literally throwing it in the garbage, like where that list should go. Figure it out. Number 2, break down these fears about what you can control and actually address them. Like I was saying, answer them, make a plan, set it and forget it. If you take all of these worries and concerns and instead of spinning out like I talked about in the first video about job loss, you are not actually producing a change in your environment, outside of you or inside of you. If all you do is worry and list the things that you are worried about, scared about, or don't know what's going to happen about in the future, you are just standing still, wasting your time and everybody else's. You're not helping yourself and you're not helping anybody else. Make a plan. Answer your own questions. You choose, you decide. Number 3, if what you can't do is consuming you, you need to make the switch to what you can do. I can't go outside, I can't go for a run, I can't be around people. You can, actually. This can't mentality is crawling your walls in tighter and tighter around you, and it's increasing your own anxiety. The world around you hasn't actually made a lot of changes to how you function. You are just allowing what's going on around the world to affect how you feel and how you think. If you think, I can't be around people, I can't go for a walk, I can't go outside, I'm stuck in the house, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't go grocery shopping, I can't make money, you need to switch it and think about how you can accomplish all those things. If you're like, I can't go outside, you can literally step outside your front door and you are fucking outside. You need to carve out the realities of the can and can'ts. You can go on your deck. You can go for a walk down by the ocean. Just stay 6 feet away from other people. You can go play in your yard. You can go outside. You can go grocery shopping. It might not suit your schedule, or you might have to ask someone else to do it for you, who's either asymptomatic or hasn't been traveling or has a schedule without childcare that allows them to go do that. Ask for help. Take your can'ts and shove them where the sun don't shine. Work on your cans. Rule or tip number 4, be action-based. The paralysis of anxiety gets to us all when we don't know what will turn out right or best, and it causes us to freeze. We forego action due to the worries created by a perceived future of failure or imperfection. You need to act. And I'm actually going to cover a more detailed tip about how to do that in my next video that focuses on coping with depression during this time. But what I will say here is, if you are worried about how something will turn out and you plant your feet and you don't move, 1, you are increasing the chances that it will not turn out well. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. You need to take action. And if it fails or doesn't turn out quite right, you can try again. And you can make a different plan. And you can ask for help to do it a second time, or a third, or a fourth. Do not plant your feet and become your own mountain in your own way. Take it step by step. Break it down into teeny tiny little fractions of an action and get started. Start walking. Tip number 5, you actually need to do the thought work. It is hard and it sucks, but you living in your comfort zone of fear and paralysis isn't going to change anything. You need to get out of your comfort zone and into the combat zone. You need to start asking yourself, when you worry about what's happening, what's going to happen in your life, what's happening now in your life, a lot of this is created by our own perceptions, by our own ideas, and inside our own mind. You need to ask the question, is that true? I'm not going to make enough money to feed my family. I've lost my job and I'll never get it back. The whole world's going to hell. Is that true? Or is it just what you think? And then ask yourself, if you might not ever get your job back, so what? So might not half the world. What are you going to do about it? So what? What now? I'm worried about this. This is falling apart. Is that true? Yes or no? So what? What now? Do the thought work. Calm down and go through it piece by piece. It will release you and broaden your world, and it will stop the anxiety from pressuring you into a teeny tiny little box of your own self-made death. The other interesting thing about this, about the thought work, is you don't have to believe everything you think. And this comes a lot with self-sabotage and poor self-worth, where you think, I'm fat, I don't like myself, I'm lazy, I'm terrible at work, I have no patience, I'm worthless. I don't have to believe that. Just because my brain thinks about it, we have our ego, and then we have our watcher, and then our watcher can have a watcher. It's called self-awareness. And just because you're having a conversation with yourself and comments and ideas come up, doesn't mean you need to believe them. They can come through your mind, and you can choose to not believe certain things about yourself and your life and your world. Crazy people do it all the time. And they can leave the other side. You don't have to keep thoughts that aren't helpful. They're not yours. You don't own them. Tell them to go away. And number 6, if it's not yours, stop carrying it. We all have enough baggage as it is. And if other people are having conversations or imposing their perception on the world about you, don't collect it into your baggage and take it on as shit you need to lug around. If it's not yours, put it down, let it go. You choose what you think. You choose your own perception. You choose your view of the world. Again, attitude, the difference between ordeal and adventure. If you collect everyone else's anxiety on top of your own, you're not able to breathe enough to work on your own. You don't need to work on everyone else's anxiety as well as yours. If it's not yours, put it down and don't carry it. I hope these tools have helped you. I still kind of chuckle or laugh at calling it a global health crisis. It's going to go from COVID-19 to a psychological pandemic of poor mental health. And no, it won't, because we're all going to be here for each other, and we're all going to put out into the world what we wish to see, which is love, kindness, respect, compassion, and empathy. I love you all, and I hope that something in this video has helped you. Please continue to watch the series. I'll have a lot more tips and tools that address all of the different hardships of mind management in times of challenge. Build your resiliency, work on yourself, and till next time, I'm Julia from Pretty Aggressive Recovery Coaching.